So we got our second guest for tonight. We want to welcome her. She's a publicist, author, life coach, content creator, Lynn Hobson. How you doing, Lynn? Welcome to the show. Lynn Hobson in the building.
Thank you for having me.
So we're gonna start off by tell everybody where you're from.
Well, I'm from Washington, D.C., but I live in New Jersey and work in the city, in New York.
Okay, that's very informative.
Yeah.
How was it growing up in D.C.?
I came from a very strict household, so I don't even know. I couldn't go outside.
Oh, wow.
Why not?
My father was very strict. I wasn't allowed to, go outside.
Oh, wow.
I was allowed to read books.
You the only girl?
Just two of us, two girls.
So both of y'all couldn't go outside.
Neither one of us.
Wow.
No brothers?
No brothers.
That's right. Because they had some brothers, like you can go outside, they know the brothers can go,
Right, look after
y'all, whatever the
no
case may
brothers.
be.
So you like, man, I have to get out of D.C., come to Jersey?
What? Yes, had to get out of that strict, that strictness.
What makes you pick New Jersey?
I didn't pick New Jersey, which goes back to DC. When I was at Howard, my father had thrown me out the house, so I came to live with my then boyfriend, and I went to live with his parents in Brooklyn, like Rutland of East New York. And then they were in entertainment industry, and so that's how I got into the entertainment industry, following around with them.
Oh,
Don
so
Poole, he manages Mary J. Blige. He co-managed the Notorious
Don Poole?
B.I.G.
You said Don Poole, that was your boo back then?
No, that was my brother, like my ex-fiance's brother.
Oh, that's my man.
Yeah,
I know
he's
Don
still
very
my
well.
brother.
Yeah.
oh, so that's how you got into the game.
That's how I got into
So
the
they
game
was in
from
the
Poole
music.
in China. Well, his brother was a music producer. He
Yeah.
produced some records on Foxy Brown's album. Poole was managing Foxy Brown. That's kind of how I got into the industry. Yeah.
Mary.
So you just sitting back and then watching them, then be like, I think I want to get into this.
No, what happened was China gave me a book called The Personal Touch, Everything You Need to Know to Succeed in Today's Business World. And it was written by a publicist. And back then we didn't have internet, so I wrote her a letter asking her for an internship. And she wrote me back, to call me in for an internship. And it turned into a job, and it turned into a career.
Wow. So that's
Yeah.
interesting right there.
Yeah,
So by reading that book inspired you that much?
yeah. Yeah. This lady, Terry Williams, she had Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, back then, Boys to Men. She was handling the Johnny Cochran, O.J. Simpson case. And she created the Essence Music Festival.
That's the book.
In the book that I read.
Yeah, that was in the
from
book,
her.
yeah.
Yes.
So you was like, man, I want to get into the music business.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
what was your career path before that?
I was working for the Pentagon.
Oh, you were
As a
Pentagon?
teenager, yeah, going to Howard University, I was working at the Pentagon.
Oh,
I
wow.
probably would have been either a government employee or a teacher.
Yeah, Pentagon. yeah.
That was during Mary Berry's term.
Yeah. Marion Barry, and my dad worked for Marion Barry.
So I'm gonna take it back. So you wrote the letter back to China.
I wrote,
said, okay.
I wrote the letter to the Terry Williams, the publicist.
Oh, you wrote the letter.
Yeah, China and Poole gave me the book to read
Oh,
of
okay,
hers.
okay.
They said, you should read this book, and I read it, and I fell in love with publicity. Yeah.
And so then the woman Terry Williams got you the start.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, she did. Shout out to Terry Williams. Yeah.
Okay.
You got a
so-
caller there, champ?
Yeah.
You got a
Oh.
caller?
We got a caller.
Hello?
Hello, caller. You on the air?
You got Lynn Hobson here.
Hi. How are you? I have a question for Miss Rocky.
Oh, Rocky left a little earlier. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. But
What was the question?
yeah, I asked you about okay, so the start. We want to go over. So okay, now the start, your first day at the job, what it was like?
Oh man, the first day at the job, I was 2 hours late for work because I didn't know the New York subway system. There was construction, and there was a lot of rerouting on the trains. So I was 2 hours late for work, and I was wet. It was raining.
She was mad.
I didn't get to really work with her that day. They were just trying to. It was kind of like an orientation, but it was a stressful first day.
Yeah, 2 hours late. That's
Yeah.
she ain't coming.
Right.
Lynn, you had a hell of a career. I'm doing a little reading while you and Doc over there talking. It's talking about,
Thank you.
your experience at coordinating events for clients such as Eddie Murphy, Johnny Cochran, Boys to Men, Essence Magazine, and NBA's Players Association.
Right, so at the Terry Williams agency, those were all of her clients, and those are all of the clients I had the privilege of working with under her at the Terry Williams agency. And the agency was actually located inside of Essence Magazine.
Wow.
So I got to see a lot of how the magazine was run, and I was able to, see how a public relations firm was run.
Right.
Yeah.
You were pretty intelligent. I see why Daddy had you in the house like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about let's take it back a little bit more, or maybe it's in the same time when you was the director of publicity at Undertainment Records.
Yes. So, so after the PR firm, I was fired from the PR firm because I was partying too much. I started feeling myself. I got to know people, you know what I mean? I was coming in late. And so Terry wasn't having it, so she fired me. And at the time, I was living on Grandin Gates, and Biggie was living on St. James and Gates. And so I would see them on the corner, and one day they stopped me and asked me what I do, and I said, well, I just got laid off from my job, and they told me they would keep in touch with me. I gave them my number, and I would say about 6 months to a year later, they called me in to meet and then I was hired. Yeah.
All right, so how long you worked with Terry before you got fired?
2 years.
Oh, so you've been there 2 years.
Yes. I was
So-
at Entertainment for 9 months.
Okay, so the 2 years with Terry, you get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you was doing in that time?
So during that time, at that time also Mike Tyson was a client of the Terry Williams agency, and they dropped him as a client. And when I was coming home from the unemployment office, I ran into his sister, and she said that he was starting a record label, and so they contracted me to do his publicity for the record label. So I had, I was
Oh, so you
making
was
some
doing
money.
that before,
Yeah, right before for a couple of months. Yeah.
And so you walking by, so they, and Biggie and them, they knew you from Terry, or they just out the clear blue said?
It was, this industry is all about relationships. It came a couple of ways. So they were hanging out on the corner, right? Then I knew this girl named Leote, who at the time was...
Leote Blackmore.
Yeah.
That's my friend too.
Yeah, so Leote at the time was P. Diddy's assistant, and she was hired as president of Undertainment. So I had the guys on the corner. I had Leote at Undertainment, and then I had another angle. So by the time I walked in the office for the interview, they were like, "Okay, you got the job."
Yeah.
Oh, and then Pooh working with Biggie.
Right.
So it was kind of like a no-brainer for them when they hired me. Yeah. I kind of.
And so you worked with Un for 9 months?
Yes.
So what's the experience like working on that?
Before I worked with Un, I was a crybaby. I would cry every time somebody hurt my feelings. But I don't cry anymore. I don't cry anymore. They made me tough. You know what I mean? This is a very tough industry, and they toughened me up. And that's what I took away from working with them. The toughness of it.
All right, so let's talk about hobby.com.
Hobbycom. Hobbycom is, the PR firm I created. It's my last name is Hobson. My dad's nickname is Hobby, and then Com for communications, and I work under Hobbycom. Yeah. So all of my clients from that point forward are under Hobbycom.
And I got to mention your clients once again because we do a lot of research when all our guests come on in.
Okay.
And people need to know that your clients were Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
Jackie Rowe,
His sister.
yeah, Iron MIC Entertainment Music, Mark Pitch, another one of my friends, Robert Don Poole Cummins, Rock Wilder, Bank Dog, Michael Cox, Lil Mo, stuff like that. So you've been doing your thing. You got a lot of people you work with.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
So it takes a lot of time out your day, right?
Well, then, I'm not doing PR anymore. But back then, yeah, I slept, ate everything PR. From sun up to sundown. No personal moments.
So you never thought about starting your own firm?
Well, Hobby Com is my own firm. That was my own firm, you know, and I had a staff of about 6 people. And then after 9/11, I decided that, you know, 9/11 shook up a lot of things. You know, it shook up a lot of people, it shook up my business because PR was a luxury. And everybody was kind of afraid of, you know, taking chances with their money. You know, so I had to close my business after that. And I'm just like a one-woman show since then. Yeah.
So what's a typical day for Lynn Hobson?
Well, right now, a typical day, it depends on the time of the year, because during the school year, I was teaching at Delaware State University, and I life coached some young girls in Yonkers. But for the summer, I'm just focusing on the web series, 8 at the Table.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So 8 at the Table is a web series that my partner, Alan, created. So he came up with the idea, and I basically ran with the idea. And it's when we invite 8 different people from all walks of life to dinner, and during dinner we talk about topics in the areas of love, sex, and relationships. And it's hilarious.
So what is every week?
We probably tape once a month.
Okay.
So it's different 8 people each week?
8 different people each time. We've had Mr. Commodore, we've had Gilly the Kid, or they call him Gilly the King now. We've had him, we've had Chinese Kitty. We've had a lot of love and hip hop guests on the show, and a lot of radio personalities on the show.
When does it air?
The new season is going to come out in September on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all got to deal with Hulu?
It's not really a deal. It's kind of like, you know, when you are a rapper and you want to put your music out, I don't know if people knew this, but if you are an artist, you upload your music to TuneCore, and TuneCore disperses it for you. So we work with a company who we upload our web series and they disperse it. So it's on Hulu, it's going to be on Amazon Prime, it's going to be on Roku, it's going to be on everything.
Okay.
Netflix, I don't know, we didn't get the green light for that yet, but any other streaming site is going to be on.
So you're real excited about this project?
Yeah, really excited about it. I've learned a lot about love, sex, and relationships. I thought I knew it all, but I don't.
So this life coach, what actually are you doing as a life coach?
So as a life coach, I feel like life coaching is actually my calling. I have a knack for listening to someone and then kind of guiding them and just telling them right off the bat what they need to be doing with their life. Yeah.
Yeah. I got that gift
Those who
myself.
take the advice, they become very successful.
I've been doing that for a while, you know.
Yeah. Life coaching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do it. See, I'm a certified master trainer. You know, it's one of my gifts. You know, DJ Doc. You know, that's one of your gifts. We got more than one gift than just the B139. And now when I train people, I train little kids. Like my youngest was 7. My oldest client was 94 years old.
And what do you teach them?
I teach them how to be healthy, live a healthy lifestyle.
Really?
Yeah, I have no limits to when it comes to training. I'm a master trainer. So when I'm saying what I learned, when I first came in training, I was just on some old, you know, we work out like me and Doc work out and you get somebody big, whatever. But as years went by, I got 15 plus years in the business, is that people want to talk. And when you train and people ask you questions, they tell you about their life and they want an answer. You know what I'm saying? And I used to give them answers and they hit me back. Hey man, what you told me was good now. You know, and years and years and years of doing this, I helped so many people with their problems. You know what I'm saying? The same things I would tell them, I should have been telling myself, but they was really, really, you know, using my stuff. And that's why I say I have life coaching experience, but I learned that from training.
I have a personal trainer. I work out with him 3 days a week, and I you know, he's like my best friend. I tell him everything.
There you go.
And he gives me really good advice.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I'm in the process of doing one of the things that he, you know, gave me advice on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's talk about the Black and Blue Foundation.
Okay, so the Black and Blue Foundation was a foundation I established in, I think, 2013. Either 2013 or 2015, and I am a domestic violence survivor. I was in a relationship, and the person I was with was cheating, and I broke up with him. And you know, the best way to get over a man is to get another one, right? So I immediately went and got another man. You know what I mean?
Immediately? What's immediately?
Like a month later. A month later. And so we were on a date, and I guess my date tweeted that we were at a bowling alley. And my ex walked into the bowling alley while my date was in the bathroom. And so when I saw him coming, I said, let's step outside. I don't want this drama. And he just proceeded to attack me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the whole process of getting the final restraining order was very grueling. It took about 6 to 9 months to get my final restraining order. And I'm proud of myself for following through on it, because a lot of women get discouraged. Not just women, I take that back. Because when I went to go file my paperwork, the majority of the people in the room were men filing their paperwork.
Right.
Yeah.
For
So
domestic violence.
for domestic violence. Yeah, and they file it because they have children, the woman is keeping the children away from them, or the woman is provoking them, So yeah, the majority of the people in that room were men.
So your date, did he see the guy abusing you?
No, well, what happened was I was with a couple of friends. All of my friends went to the bar, my date went to the restroom, and I was just kind of at the bowling lane, like watching everybody's purses and shoes and stuff. So it was just like perfect timing for my ex to come in, and I was just like, I don't want to, let's go outside. So after a while, they all realized, like, where is Lynn? You know what I mean? And they came outside, and by the time they came outside, it was too late. I was already toe down from the floor down.
They beat you up?
Yeah.
So
I had a black eye, I had a ruptured eardrum.
Damn.
I had bruised ribs, I had a broken finger,
Did he go to
and I had a disconnected retina.
Did he go to jail?
Yes, he did. He did 30 days, and if he ever violates, he does 30 days. So he's done 2 rounds of 30 days. And no issues from him in about 5 years.
So what did your date do?
He
When
was
he found
gone.
out?
He was gone.
He was gone.
My ex was gone.
No, she
tore me up
said
and
that it happened so fast.
It happened so fast, yeah.
So damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's foul, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's foul.
Yeah.
So how many times he cheated on you before you said that's enough and cut him off?
Oh, just that one time. Yeah.
Oh, that's why he probably flipped out.
Yeah, just that one time.
So once he cheated, he's like, I'm done.
Well, I was in that relationship for like a year. It was just like this is a year. I can eat up a year. Like, it's not worth, finding out. Can we make it? I'm not that person.
Right, so it wasn't no real love. You still like.
I loved him in that moment, time, and space, but it wasn't worth. You put your hands on me. I mean,
Yeah,
you cheated on me. It just wasn't worth. Going forward with the relationship.
Because it was so it was easy.
I just felt
to
like
walk
it
away
was.
from.
Yeah.
And so there was no kids, nothing involved. So it was like I could walk away from this.
Correct. Yes.
And he couldn't take it.
Right. Correct.
So you said, I'm sorry.
So it started with an argument, or he just started hitting you right away?
No.
It started with I want come with me, so we can talk outside. I said no, I'm on a date.
Right,
Then he
right.
took my cell phone and threw it. God knows where it went.
Right.
And then when I turned around to go back into the bowling alley, he grabbed me and just kind of really stomped me out.
Jealous rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, jealous rage.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times it starts with this, and then go into the words, and then boom.
So he would have never knew if the guy never tweeted.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but how you get the guy Twitter? Because he.
So on Twitter, you can add somebody, and then you can go to mentions of that person's name and see them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see.
So he
that,
at you and was like,
Yeah.
man, my date going.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
But he wasn't just singing. There were other people with us too. So he
Yeah,
tagged
jealous.
them as well.
You're not jealous. You have to be the note a tweet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The notice is not like.
But it was right when Twitter started. Like, everybody was on Twitter.
Right,
Like, everybody
right.
was addicted to Twitter
Right,
at one
right.
point in time. When it first came out,
Mhm.
I stayed on Twitter.
Yeah,
I just went to the bathroom, just brushed my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was
Yeah,
like that back
yeah.
then.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you trying to build your brand or keep your popularity up.
Yeah.
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 Hey, so we're gonna move right along again because you got a lot going on. Let's talk about you're still educating yourself with the BA in arts and science and city college and all that type of stuff.
Right. So when I went to Howard, I got kicked out for partying too much. Coming from a strict household.
Mm-hmm.
so I just got my bachelor's degree, 3 years ago. So I
Right.
went back after 25 years
Mhm.
and finished it. I didn't need to finish it, but I just felt like I had come so far that in my profession to life coach, young ladies, I needed to finish what I started.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wanna do that?
Yes, I got it from City College. Here in
So
Hartford.
you're an author
Yes.
of what?
I wrote a book called Diary of a Hip Hop Publicist,
Mhm.
and it commemorates my 25 years in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And each chapter is named after a client I've ever worked with or represented. And it's just, in the book, I talk about the work that I did with that client, and I also talk about the personal things I was going through while working with that client. Because, you have to put up a facade, and, cover it up and keep going and working. So the title of the chapters is just merely the client. I'm not really talking about the client.
Right.
I'm just talking about what I was going through while I was working with particular clients.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how can somebody get that book?
On Amazon, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we want
But
y'all to go
Amazon,
get that
you know
book.
what, I'm gonna put out another book, but I'm
Go
not
get
putting it
that
on
book.
Amazon because I don't know about their accounting system.
Oh, wow.
You know
That
what I
money
mean?
ain't coming right
That
in.
money ain't not adding up.
And that's the first thing I hear every time somebody
It's
gets a
not
book.
adding
They go
up.
straight to Amazon. Like ain't
Yeah,
no
I'm
other
not
type
doing
of
that
source.
anymore.
Amazon can't be the only source to move
Yeah,
books.
not doing that anymore. I'm gonna sell it one by one and do my DMs on Instagram.
I'm gonna look for that book. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay.
When the last time you spoke to Leo J?
I saw Leoche 2 years ago. He's somewhere in Harlem on a corner.
Yeah.
She was at a video shoot, and I was working with a client by the time, Nia Lee, who was doing a feature with an artist by the name of Manolo Rose.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Hmm?
From Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, I think he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And they were doing an old school car video shoot, and Leote was there.
Yeah.
And she is, I think, head of marketing at Rock Nation now.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked.
So it was good to see her.
She got shafted a few times. I didn't like
Yeah.
back in the day.
She
you know?
did.
Yeah, Puff shafted her first. And
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of story. That's my. It's like me and her real tight.
She's good people.
Yeah, very good.
Very
people.
good people.
Yeah.
I Leote.
One, hey, Leo J. Wait till she finds.
She's not on social media, but
She's on
She
Instagram.
is?
She's on Instagram.
Oh,
She's
okay.
my friend on there.
I gotta look her up.
Yeah, she not heavy on it.
Okay.
She'll appear every so often.
Okay, that's cool.
You know. So what is the key to your success?
The key to my success is prayer and fasting. Yeah, every morning I get up and I read Psalms 23, 27, 91. What else? 23, 27, 91, 127, 147, 150. And I say some affirmations, and then I fast on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't eat until after 6.
How that been working for you?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing something like that too.
Yeah, on days that I don't say my prayers, all drama ensues.
That I can relate to because I pray like
Yeah.
3-4 times a day. Sometimes I go out the house and I just feel funny.
Mhm.
And I just feel funny.
Mhm.
I said, oh shit, I ain't pray. And sometimes I close my eyes and people looking at me like I'm bugged out or something. You know what I'm saying? I gotta pray.
Right.
I had this lady stop one time and when I opened my eyes, she moved away from me. I said, I didn't even think about this lady. Man, I'm just doing me.
Right.
You know, but I'm at that point like that where I just don't
Yeah.
feel comfortable sometimes without praying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's important. So prayer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very important. But the fasting thing I haven't done in a while, like Doc said, but it's good to fast though.
Yeah, I was
With a
thinking
cause and a
See,
reason.
that
Yeah.
I think I could do, like not eating till later on in the day. I think. I
But
could
you gotta
do that,
put it like, you know, make it-
maintain in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think I
Some
could-
days are rough, and if it's rough, I might drink. I might drink like a little orange juice or something sometimes, but I try to just go without anything. And I do have a prayer. I do have something in mind. Fasting is the fastest way to answer prayer. So if I ask God for something and He doesn't give it to me right away, and I fast about it, I might not get it right away, but He'll give me a clue on where to go get it. That answer, stuff like that. So yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try that out.
So you go to church every Sunday?
I used to. I'm having spiritual issues right now. I've been researching other religions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I'm Christian, born and raised Christian, born and raised in the church. And I've been looking at. I'm was also kind of raised in a Nigerian home, and 2 aunts married 2 Nigerian brothers. And there's a religion called Ifa that I've been, just looking into as well.
So what's next for Lynn Hobson?
Gonna get 8 at the table picked up.
Hmm?
Get 8 at the table picked up.
Yeah.
Go towards film and television. I really love working on set. I love film and television. So film and television.
So you kept a lot of your relationships open.
Yes, I kept a lot of my relationships. The thing though is that a lot of the people who were top executives as I was coming up, they're starting to retire or they're getting laid off.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So now I really need to get to know the younger generation. I really
Yeah.
don't have the energy to do it.
Right.
So it's a struggle,
Yeah, it's good that the relationship, especially what you're doing, like you said, people to talk to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but plus when she was.
Well, no, so there's a difference now. Like if I want to book somebody for my show, I'll just DM them. Like Cayenne, I wanted her on my show. I DM'd her. She said, "Here's my manager's
You knew her already?
information." No, I didn't know her.
Oh, that's cool.
So
how difficult is
the
that?
DMs.
But DMs all the time, sometimes people don't respond.
I'll go onto their comment. Check your DM. Yes.
You gotta work.
You gotta work.
You gotta
yeah.
work, man.
Yeah.
You gotta work. Come on, Doc. We
So
had
social
200
media's
guests.
made that
We
easier,
had
huh?
200 guests. You think we just got them by chance?
Yeah, but I have to ask her that question.
Yeah, you trying to get them some more tools. I understand. That's what we're supposed to do. That's how we do.
Who does your eyelashes?
Oh, wow.
Nah, but
Oh, wow.
I don't know why it's like that. It's just,
I want to know who does your eyelashes too.
Right.
Oh, man. So listen, what's the last words of advice you can give to the viewers and followers and fans and all that type of stuff?
The best word of advice I could give your viewers is to just don't take no for an answer. No is the answer to somebody else's question, but not yours. And just don't take no for an answer. I never take no an answer. I never stand in line for anything either. But that has its repercussions too. But don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I can say about you, you're very approachable.
Thank you.
Because when I met you downtown, you had your little dog. I thought you was going to bring your little dog with you.
He's in DC with my
You walk
mom.
around with everywhere she go. I'm like, who this girl right
Shout
here,
out to
man?
Mr. Love Muffin.
She walking around, she got little slippers on. Yeah, she walk around with a puppy.
Mr. Love Muffin.
I
He's
said-
on Instagram as Mr. Love Muffin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said, who this girl right here walking around with a puppy, walking down 8th Avenue and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, but I met her down at the Jack Thriller show. Shout out to Jack Thriller, he's a friend of the show.
Yeah, that's my best friend.
Very supportive, that's a funny dude. Man.
He's hilarious.
Very good guy. What I was gonna say, so tell everybody your social media links, where they can find you at.
All social media, Lynn Hobson.
Lynn Hobson.
Yeah.
All right, and tell everybody what podcast show you on right now.
What?
What podcast show you on right now?
I'm on the Beat 139.
There it is. Lynn Hobson, ladies and gentlemen.
great.
Good.
We good?
That was fun.
There you go.
Thank you for having me.
You learned something? The Beat 139, we serious about this thing, huh?
Yeah. Proud of me, yeah.
There you go, thank you.
It
So
takes a-
Lynn, you're not leaving, right?
No,
We got a
stick around for
little
like
drinks.
30 more minutes.
We gonna do it with the brother right here.
You want
Okay.
you
You
want
know.
you want to bring him out now or
No, we got
Let's get them right quick. Yeah, let's get-
okay?
Yeah, so
I,
water-
I think at least one of them
a post
wanted to go out
interview
with a
with
shot.
her.
Yeah, we got a post interview.
Down into our
Right.
camera.
We got Darryl Carter,
You want to
music extraordinaire. I
check
check
inside
you out.
the space on the
There's no joke.